Welcome everyone and good afternoon. My name is Robin Haley Gillen and I was privileged to work at the Riverwood Conservancy for 15 years, all under Douglas Markoff. So on behalf of the Riverwood Conservancy, we would like to welcome you to this very special event. With the assistance of technology, today we have friends of Riverwood from across the city, the country. I'm pretty sure there's some Virginians tuning in, and I'm pretty sure some Floridians at least. So we're international. Today we are paying special tribute to Douglas Markoff, who for the past 17 years has been the executive director for the Riverwood Conservancy. We are very honored to have friends of Riverwood who wanted to pay tribute to Douglas. And the first is very, very special. She is the former mayor and a current patron of the Riverwood Conservancy, Hazel McCallion. Take it away, Hazel.
Well, thank you very much. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. You know, Douglas has made such a major contribution to Riverwood. I recall when we bought that property. It was very expensive, by the way, extremely expensive, but we were not going to allow it to go up for development. And so we paid the money, hard cash, and I'm so pleased. We weren't able to do much with it, but the citizens certainly came forward and gave of their time and talent to try to create gardens and clean the place up, the property, and etc. And then, of course, we got it more established, more permanently, staff, etc. And I can assure you that he has given tender, loving care to Riverwood. I can't think of anybody that would have given the time and the efforts and his dedication to the cause of Riverwood. And so it took a while for Riverwood to get going, but when we got Douglas on board, it started to move. And it moved in a major, major way. So Douglas, you can sit back and enjoy the legacy that you left at Riverwood, that you will be leaving at Riverwood. And you brought so many people along and such. So you were the driving force behind Riverwood moving forward. And I want to thank you. Thank you for the time and the time that you allotted, extra time, your friendly approach to people, and the way in which you developed staff to assist you, and the many programs that you instituted at Riverwood. I don't know, you have made a major contribution.
Well, thank you, Hazel. You've been a wonderful model to follow. And I still remember, and I'll always remember, one of the comments that you made many years ago, and that was, if you don't have the money, don't spend it. And I remember that forever. So thank you for acquiring the property, and thank you for everything that you've done for the city.
Thank you. And I wish you every success. I don't know what you're going to do now that you're retiring. Are you going to put your feet up? No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. But you have left a legacy at Riverwood that will carry on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hazel, for being here and sharing your memories of Douglas and Riverwood. Douglas, 17 years is a long time to lead. When Douglas announced that he was going to be retiring, staff, volunteers, members, and many friends wanted to express their appreciation for all that he has done during his tenure here at TRC. And some are here today. Douglas, while many others have sent notes of farewell and congratulations and good wishes, we've gathered those messages together for you in a very special tribute basket. Dr. Gail Kranzberg, the very patient and supportive better half of Douglas, has this for you. So I don't know where she stashed it. Oh, there you go.
Oh my.
Now,
Oh my.
we know that you're going to have tons of free time, and during that free time, you can peruse each of the messages to understand. Look at that, email tributes. Perfect.
Chocolate.
Well, it's not the Riverwood Conservancy without some sort of chocolate. But you can take your time, you can read them, you can reread them, and it will, on those gloomy days, you can say, yes, look at all the difference I made just by going through them. And
Wow.
it's a simple basket.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful basket. And I so look forward to going through it.
Now, we all know that leading an organization takes time. And Douglas has spent many hours growing the Riverwood Conservancy and tending its gardens, quite literally. He often would mention that he was at Riverwood on the weekend, for example, this past weekend. He was frequently the first person in the office in the mornings. He would come in for evening meetings. And that dedication is evident when you look at the gardens at Riverwood or see the many programs offered by the Riverwood Conservancy. As part of our thanks, we have put together the following presentation just to show a bit of what Douglas has been a part of for the last 17 years.
Hi, Douglas. Happy retirement. 17 years at the Riverwood Conservancy. Unbelievable. Gotta say, during the time that you've spent at Riverwood, it really has become an additional part of the ecosystem with having you there. You will definitely be missed, but wishing you all the very best in your retirement and your next adventure to follow. Take care, my friend.
Family.
It's Robert Bateman.
Hey Douglas, on behalf of the family, we're wishing you a really happy retirement. Don't be a stranger, hope to see you around Riverwood for fun, and we're looking forward to hearing all about your new adventures. Take care.
driven by a dream of botanical parks and nature centers. You made it happen and you've touched countless lives. Congratulations, Douglas.
How early it was.
Congratulations, Douglas. On behalf of the City of Mississauga and members of Council, I wish you all the best as you celebrate your retirement. Riverwood is truly a hidden gem in our city. It's a place where history, nature, beauty, and peace meet to create an enjoyable and lasting outdoor experience for all. And for 17 years, you have dedicated your time to making Mississauga a better place to live, work, and raise a family in. Thank you for the great work that you have done to help safeguard and promote this beautiful public space in our city. We are truly grateful for your years of service. From all of us at the City of Mississauga, we wish you the very best on your next chapter in life. You earned it.
Hi, Douglas. I want to personally thank you and offer my deepest appreciation for your 17 years of outstanding service to Riverwood. Your dedication and pride will have your footprints all over this great educational and outdoor activity facility. You had a vision, a great vision, and you focused on that vision for all ages of visitors. And we only have to look around, and I see Douglas fingerprints everywhere on all the expanded services that you were so instrumental in bringing about in a very, very successful career. All the best to you and to Gail in whatever you do in the future. And don't be a stranger. Come around and visit us again. Yeah, Douglas, we're going to miss you, but stay in touch. Thank you again for your service.
Thank you to everyone who contributed to that video and to Rashid Clark for putting it together so skillfully. It's a wonderful video. The Riverwood Conservancy has friends from across the city, all of whom care deeply about Riverwood. Whether they are Mississauga Master Gardeners, TRC members, volunteers, sponsors, donors, or visitors to Riverwood, each person is an important link in our organization, and Douglas has developed many of these relationships over his time here. We are very happy to have a few of these friends with us today. One of the first and longtime supporters of the Riverwood Conservancy is Scots Canada. Please welcome Scots Canada's Director of Regulatory Affairs and Stakeholder Relations, Karen Stevenson.
Thanks, Robin, and thank you, Douglas, for everything that you've done for Riverwood and for Scots as a sponsor. As I was thinking about what I wanted to say, I was going back and looking into the archives, so to speak, and realized that Scots and Riverwood have had a partnership now for over 20 years, of which, you know, you've been part of that partnership for 17, which is, you know, an impressive legacy. And I've had the pleasure of being here for 12 of those. And over those 12 years, I've seen, you know, the growth in a lot of the TRC initiatives that Scots has been very fortunate to sponsor, whether it be the environmental education program, stewardship, the garden programs, as well as, you know, volunteer programs. And all of those we've seen grow under your leadership. So I wanted to thank you for that. And Scots has truly appreciated the priority that you've given to the care of the Miracle Grow Garden and the McEwen Terrace Garden as a whole. You've expanded the exposure to Riverwood and its programs, and in doing so also exposed many people to the Scots brand. So Douglas, we certainly appreciate the support that you have provided to Scots as a sponsor. And, you know, in addition to that, I just wanted to say that, you know, you've guided the organization well. We've certainly all observed that. You're leaving a legacy which includes valuable programs, a competent team, and really a beautiful place for Mississauga residents and visitors to enjoy. So I want to thank you for your commitment and dedication to Riverwood and its sponsorship partners. You've always been gracious and open. And I think, you know, the Friends of Riverwood phrase that is often connected to Riverwood is a very apt phrase. It's a place where you can make friends with nature, friends with people, and friends with organizations. And so, Douglas, you've been a friend to Scots, and we thank you for all that you've done for Riverwood, for Scots, and for the Mississauga community. And I personally wanted to wish you a long, healthy, and wonderful retirement. I hope it's filled with laughter, contentment, and of course, lots of gardening. So all the very best, Douglas. And I hope that you and Gail enjoy your next chapter.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you so much, Karen, for being here. We appreciate it. The Riverwood Conservancy is really the steward of the beautiful 150-acre natural space and could not be successful without key partnerships. One of these partnerships has been with the Credit Valley Conservation, especially when it comes to education and conservation. Please welcome Senior Manager for Education and Outreach from Credit Valley Conservation, Andrew Kett.
Great, thanks, Robin. Douglas, on behalf of Credit Valley Conservation, I just wanted to say congratulations. We've been working together for a long time. It seems like it's flown by, but it's been a long time. And I remember first meeting you at one of the early morning education committee meetings, And I have lots of fond memories of our work together, whether it's discussions about funding and programming huddled with Dave around your desk in your office, or celebrations at all the galas over the years, the Riverwood galas, the CVC galas. Whether it's been the ongoing debates about the pond, which seem to go on for years and years and years, or all the other just good talk that we've had, you know, between us and with the other staff at Riverwood and CVC out on the trails or working in the gardens. You know, I want to congratulate you because I think Riverwood, the place Riverwood, has really transformed under your leadership. I think you've expanded and developed your staff. You've built gardens, and you've done a lot of really important work, whether that's all the conservation projects that have happened on the property, all of the education programs that have you know, improved people's quality of life and help them become truly attached to their place in the world in Mississauga, or just generally, you know, transforming hearts, minds, and the landscape through all of the important work with the Riverwood Conservancy. So yeah, I truly think that you've left a legacy of conservation at Riverwood on the banks of the Credit River, and I wanted to just truly thank you for your commitment to conservation and to the watershed, and to being such a wonderful caretaker of your place within it. So yeah, so with that, again, thank you on behalf of CVC. It's been a true pleasure to work alongside you, and you make partnerships really easy. So congratulations, happy retirement. And hopefully you're not going too far, because I still think there's a lot of great work still to be done.
Thank you, Andrew.
Douglas.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Andrew, for being here today. Of course, the other key partnership is with the City of Mississauga. Whether Douglas has been planning a new garden, seeking funding for initiatives, or dealing with busted pipes in the Chapel House, the city has consistently responded with support. I'd like to especially thank Mayor Bonnie Crombie, Councillor Stephen Dasco, and Councillor Ron Starr for sending in videos. But Councillor Ron Starr especially wanted to recognize your retirement, Douglas, and sent a beautiful plaque, which your lovely wife will hand to you. We've been busy while you've
Yeah, where has she been hiding all this? Oh my. That's beautiful. Thank you, Ron.
He's sorry he couldn't be here today, but the plaque is beautiful. So
I'll find a very special place for it.
Not in his office.
Yeah.
One of the descriptors that has been used to describe Douglas is cat herder, as he has managed and grown the staff of the Riverwood Conservancy. He has hired amazingly talented staff who have worked hard alongside Douglas to make Riverwood the unique place that it is today. Now, we each have our stories to tell about Douglas. However, we asked longtime colleague and education consultant Dave Taylor to represent our thanks. Dave Taylor.
Thank you, Robin. Douglas, it is a real pleasure to speak on behalf of the staff. I could come and roast you and we could have a lot of fun, but I've been warned, so I'll be nice. I've worked with you for 17 years. I have really enjoyed the experience. You've been a wonderful boss, a friend, a confidant. When you came in, you were a gardener and sort of a naturalist, and you had the good sense to listen to people when they gave you advice, and that impressed me. You might say, you might have been a little resistant at times, but you listened and you made the best decision. And I have to say, the Riverwood is a tribute to those decisions. It is a different park than it would have been had you not been our leader. I know that the staff enjoyed working with you. I know they would echo my feelings. It was a great time. I think you nurtured us. And more importantly, I think you cared a lot about us. You were always a money manager, but you were always willing to put family first. And I think that was a great time and a great thing about you. And when I came to you and said, look, I can't do all of these discovery programs in the evening, my wife is going to kill me. And you said, yeah, my wife will kill you, me too. So we both made a decision that we were going to pass that on to somebody else. And it was probably the best decision for our marriages that we ever made. So thank you for everything. It was great. I know the staff really appreciate you. We all wish you all the best. And we look forward to seeing you around Riverwood. And I look forward to having a burger with you.
Thank you. Yeah, she'll have the veggie burger.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dave. Now, going back to 2004, the then board of directors, all volunteers, hired Douglas to be the second executive director for the organization. At that time, the Visual Arts of Mississauga building was under construction. McEwen Field Station was being renovated, and there were no education programs. With the vision of the board and Douglas, look how far we have come. Representing the current board of directors, still all volunteers, is the current chair, Carolyn Shirk.
Hello, Douglas. Well, on behalf of the board, I do want to bring greetings, and we're just so delighted for you. I'm going to talk personally about what I see as your biggest contribution. Everyone else has spoken about the details and so forth, but to me, the importance of your values has put us in such good stead. And I think the values that you've contributed over the years has just been so important for our operations and our future direction. And I don't know if you remember, but we decided as a board that we should, in addition to our vision and mission, we should have a statement of values.
Sure.
So we did some focus groups with staff and volunteers and members and board members. I remember distinctly having this discussion, the focus group with the staff, and we'd asked everybody to contribute 2 or 3 of values that they thought were most important. You couldn't stop at 10. We had to control the discussion because you had so many. But the 2 that stood out for me, and I think will always put us in good stead, are respect. And in fact, respect is atop in our listing now of values. And it's not just respect for nature, but it's respect for people. And I think you've shown that throughout your career, and we just so much value that. The other one that personally has stayed with me is honesty. The honesty in your relationships with everyone, staff, volunteers, city, funders. Honesty has put us in such a good place. So thank you, Douglas. That was, to me, the values are what keeps us going. So thank you so much. I also want to share with the group that last June, we as a board decided we should do a performance appraisal. Now, I just wanted to share a little bit of that with you because we came as a full outstanding performance, and every board member contributed to that process. I have 6 pages, single-spaced, of Douglas's accomplishments and contributions. And I thought I'd just read a few of them. Shows tact, consideration, sensitivity, maturity, empathy, leadership. Very thoughtful, extremely aware of all subtle nuances. Inclusive, responsive, sensitive to the needs of staff and volunteers. Receptive to suggestions and curious to realize new ideas. Seen as the face of TRC, works hard at establishing open communication with staff, directors, volunteers, community, and business partners. A listener who works hard to respond to issues. Very fair in helping others achieve the goals of TRC. A very hard worker, obliged to meet a multitude of timelines in a complex environment. It is his personal touch that contributes so much to TRC's success. So that's just some that I've picked out, Douglas, from a long list, and I could go on. But I just want to summarize to say that we are so thankful for your leadership, your contribution, and your dedication. The board has always been so well served by your dedication and commitment. So thank you, and all the best for the retirement. And we did prepare a gift for you that I hope that Gail can find now in all the activities. So thank you, Douglas, for your values and your dedication.
Thank you, Carolyn. Oh, wow. We're going to have to renovate it.
We'll have to open it on time in real life. What could it be? Lord.
Oh, wow. Got it? Wow.
Can you show us that reflection?
Wow.
It does have an inscription for you, Douglas, so that you can keep it on your wall and remember the chapel house.
Oh, I'll always remember it.
And come back regularly, please.
That's a beautiful, it's just beautiful. It says Douglas Markoff, Executive Director of the Riverwood Conservancy, 2004 to 2021. That's beautiful.
And we can, I don't know if you recognize, but Dave Taylor's photo for you.
Of course I did. Yeah.
A beautiful photo. Thank you so much, Carolyn, for your words. But we're not done yet.
Oh, God.
I know.
I have no more wall space.
One of the members from the board of directors from 17 years ago, also someone who originally hired you, would like to make a special presentation at this time. Please welcome past chair of the board, Dave Leader.
Good afternoon, Douglas and Gail.
Hi, Dave.
You know, I have to say this, Dave Aaron and I were talking at the time we heard about your retirement. We said, well, he's not old enough. He can't be ready for retirement. And so we really want to know how you do it, because he and I have got long white locks, and there you are looking like you're in your early 50s. But anyway, congratulations. And yes, I was one of the first to meet you.
You were.
At Riverwood, and I think it was on a picnic table, was it not? That
it was.
Dean Sane and Charlie Brown and I met you, and we talked. And at that time, Shirley Daniels was part of our group. We were a smaller group in those days, but I think we knew at the time. And I was thinking the other day, you were teaching at Humber, I think, on a part-time basis, and you had to finish that class because you obviously had started something and you were going to complete it. And I think obviously by all of the speakers today, you've given distinguished service to Riverwood and to TRC. In fact, the name TRC, we were the Mississauga Garden Council back in those days, and the naming of the Riverwood Conservancy is your doing.
Yeah.
At the time, I said, well, what is he up to? Does he think of New York City and Central Park? Because I knew there was a conservancy there. But you know what's happened? It's now, Riverwood is now called the Riverwood Conservancy.
Yeah.
The people have, just blend the two together, which is great. It shows the impact that you've had. And I have fond memories of, I think back the time that you and I and Dave Taylor and people from the Peel Board of Education really got the education programs going.
Yeah.
And so it's a marvelous 17 years in terms of what you've done. And you've grown, as I think, as David said, very much in the role from being, and I know your heart is still horticultural. And by the way, my whacked back rhododendron, or tree peony at the front is doing beautifully.
Terrific.
It was Marion Jarvie that told you to tell me to whack it back.
Yes.
And so in terms of all that distinguished service, there's no question that no one but you deserve to be made a lifetime member of TRC. There's a few of us. It's normally something we have for the retired or the past chairs, but we're going to include you in that number. So Gail, if you could do us the honors.
Wow.
And I do this in terms of remembering the chairs that you've worked with. Myself, the late John Heater, and the late Martin Robinson. And when I think of their work, and each brought a strength to that, to the board, and we miss them dearly. And then in more recent years, Kevin Sherwin, and obviously Carolyn Shirk, who's taken over now and doing so ably. So Douglas, on behalf of all of us, part of the board over all of those 17 years, thank you very much. And I hope that we know you will be back and that you will be an ongoing member of TRC.
Thank you, Dave. Count on it.
Thanks so much, Dave. Appreciate your being here. Lest you think that this event just happened, a dedicated committee of members and staff have been working to bring this event together today. We were really stymied. How do we recognize Douglas's achievements when he doesn't really want to fuss? Have a big virtual international ceremony. So there you go. So what I'd like to do is welcome the chair of this working group, Christina Woodward.
Well, thank you, Robin. I think that a lot of the things that I might have said have already been said, but it really is my pleasure to say a few words. And I'd like to first comment and thank the excellent work of the people on the small committee. Things were done very quickly and always with the help of Gail. Thank you so much, Gail, for being a willing participant. And also, you know, we really struggled to keep this fuss-free, which was very difficult because there was so much heartfelt energy and enthusiasm behind it. So Douglas, it seems to me that I remember last year you wanted to purchase a plant, but the nurseries were out of stock. So today we have that very plant for you. In fact, it's a tree. For those who may not be familiar with this item, it's a Japanese Stuartia Cedar Camellia. So as you know, it has gorgeous white blossoms, camellia flowers, and bark that exfoliates and strips of gray and orange and reddish brown once the trunk matures. So it's a beautiful specimen. Now the specimen that we have for you is a 10-gallon beast. So it can't be moved readily. And it certainly can't be moved yet because we're in Canada and it's still covered in snow. So those arrangements will be made as the gift certificate, which Gail will produce. If you could get the gift certificate.
Wow.
The instructions are laid out there that you can make arrangements.
Okay.
So it's South Coast Gardens that we will be supplying that plant, and it's in their nursery now.
Wow. I look forward to adding that to our garden. And you're right, it was one of the plants that I really wanted to add, and I look forward to introducing it to its other photosynthetic friends.
I know you had another one, but it was not doing well.
Yes, yes. Well, it's part of our responsibility as horticulturists to try to push the limits. But when I first saw it at Hancock Woodlands, I said, "Oh, this is a terrific plant. We must introduce that into our gardens." Yeah. So thank Marjorie Hancock for that.
So Douglas, going forward, we wish you much satisfaction in seeing this tree grow and thrive and branch out, just as Riverwood has done under your careful nurturing over all these years. You know you'll be missed. You'll always be thought of as we go about our business working Riverwood. And so on behalf of the Riverwood Conservancy, to you and Gail, enjoy the next productive and happy years. And a very warm congratulations on a very well-earned retirement. Godspeed.
Thank you, Christina.
We'll see you again.
Yes, you will.
Thank you so much, Christina, for your work and also planning this event today. Douglas, no one has actually counted how many announcements regarding the Riverwood Conservancy that you've made over the last 17 years, but it's been a lot. Here to make a special announcement today is the most recent past chair of the Board of Directors, Kevin Sherwin.
Thank you. And as we struggled what to do today that was fitting for you, Douglas, Gail brought us the message that you wanted no fanfare. And actually today I have a real regret. William Leathers, who is a young Mississauga phenomenon, he's a pianist, he's a composer, but he's particularly known for his trumpet. I really regret when I heard that statement, in the back of my mind, I said, yes, I'm going to get William to do a fanfare for Douglas. And then, you know, and as we were told to keep it cool and honor Douglas's wishes not to go over the top, I regret that I didn't actually follow through with that, because I thought, you know, a fanfare from William would have been pretty neat to have. And you're not Scottish, so we couldn't do bagpipes or anything like that. So there was a bit of a struggle as to what to do today, because you know, in the future, when our students come to the site, or, you know, maybe in 10 years, and Mark Johnson, who I know is watching YouTube, is probably going to give me grief afterwards for my crappy science, but we're going to have these little portable DNA devices, and we'll be able to measure DNA on the spot, and it'll be in our Apple phones or in our Android phones, and it'll be easy and, you know, just every day and part of our life. But as students come to the site, they're going to see, who's this Douglas Markoff guy? He's everywhere. He's down in the bird terrace. He's up in Zychuk Terrace. He's all over the place. And all these plants in the gardens are infused with Douglas DNA. And as Ron was saying with his fingerprints, it's the same sort of thing. I think there will be Douglas DNA for many, many years to come, and probably even growing in the plants. And Mark may give me grief about that, but I think actually in the plants themselves, and probably in the water, the pond, and in various places, there will be Douglas DNA. And I was on the phone with Ron this week, and for about a half hour, he was regaling about the plants, and but mostly about the wildlife he sees from his backyard. And he's no longer working in his office. He now works in his kitchen, which overlooks the Credit River. And he was talking about seeing the bald eagles, and he was talking about what started off as two hawks circling there over the Credit River Valley. And you know, the bald eagle in particular was just a message that many years ago we wouldn't have seen that. And now with the work that has been done in part at Riverwood, those things are now happening. And so under your guidance and your help, the organization has had a real impact, not just on Riverwood, but on the downstream ecosystem. And Gail may correct me on some of these things as well, but some of the downstream ecosystems up and down the river. And as he was talking about the deer population and the deer we see at UTM and even on site at Riverwood, that's all a reflection of the work that we've done. So, you know, I've learned a lot of things from you. If you want to challenge yourself, those who are watching and will be seeing this in the future, look up benthic. I didn't know what a benthic was. Now I know what a benthic is. And, you know, that's just a little example of some of the things that I've learned from you. I've also learned how you treat people well and treat people with quality. And as we've heard many times from other people, the value you put in people and in relationships. but the team you have built and the volunteers that have been attracted to Riverwood, the impact of the physical site, that's going to continue for years. And as I said, your DNA will be through it all, but the credit in the future years for not just the river, but the credit for the health, the vitality, and in particular, this last 18 months or so, actually it's been a year, but it seems like longer, that people have been turning to Riverwood for respite during the coronavirus. I think had the park not been there, had the beauty not been there, I think many people would have been worse off. And they've really become to appreciate the work that you've led and you've done in a new way. And in some ways, I think your timing stinks when you picked a bad day to a bad time to retire, because everybody's so busy this week, and there are many others who wish they could have been involved. And I'm sure you'll see things in writing, but thankfully we were able to get video from the city people that are in a meeting and some things like that to be able to honor you. And really, it was a struggle. What the heck do we do with Douglas, and what do we do for Douglas in retirement? So you've seen a few of the things we've thought about, but finding something that specifically suited you was very, very difficult. So we had an idea, and we thought, you're so committed to horticulture, you're so committed to horticulture as a profession, and I'm sure you have an intense desire. One of your regrets in leaving is you won't be as involved with the gardens as you once were. So we thought, how do we foster that? And so I'm very pleased that on behalf of the board of directors and staff of Riverwood, that we're going to announce the Douglas Markoff Horticultural Fund to be held at Riverwood. Sorry, my voice is giving out. The idea of this fund is not to go for a routine maintenance of the gardens, but to be able for us to do something special every year. And one of the ideas that we've talked about, maybe it will take the form of a bursary that we can, when we have horticultural students who come to the site and spend their summers working for us, maybe at the end of that time, they will get a little bit of a cash incentive to go to their schooling program and to make their career choice a little easier and to ease their burden. Maybe it will be used for special projects. We will work through in a very detailed way when it determines what kind of scope we're talking about here, how we handle it. It may become a fund at the community foundation, or it may be rolled into the existing Riverwood fund at the community foundation. But either way, it's going to be tracked very carefully. And every year we will announce what the funds will be used for, and it'll be something special that going forward, that your impact on the gardens and the beauty of Riverwood will continue. And I think, we're hoping if you, those of you who are watching, we know there are people still considering how they want to be involved with this, but if you're looking for a way to honor Douglas, I think this would be a very nice way to do that. Something that will continue for many, many years to come, and will continue the impact that Douglas has had at Riverwood, and maybe allow us to do some special things. Maybe we will be able to purchase some unique trees like the one that Douglas is receiving, will be receiving shortly. And maybe it'll be some special things like that. And I'm sure Douglas might have some ideas how he would like the funds to be used, but it won't go for routine maintenance. That's already looked after. And we're going to do that. We're going to continue to do that, especially with our wonderful partners like Scott's and various other sponsors we have. But I think this will be a very different way, but an ongoing way to honor Douglas and honor you for your impact that you've had. And so I encourage anybody who wants to be involved to get in touch with the office. You can get in touch with Brian. And again, it will be make the gift directed to the Douglas Markoff Horticultural Fund at the Riverwood Conservancy.
I am speechless. Well, sort of. No, no, that's great. I mean, even your the wallpaper in back, Kevin, is just so apropos to what we have at Riverwood. And I'm just absolutely honored to be the named for that fund. And yeah, you guys will work out the details, but that is just such it is just such an honor. So thank you to the board of directors for that idea. And yeah.
And he keeps his eyeglasses on so you can't see the tears watering through. That's brilliant.
Well, thank you so much, Kevin, for those words and spearheading the Douglas Markoff Horticultural Fund. We are at the end of our celebration. So I wanted to thank everyone for joining Douglas and Gail as they enter this new phase of life. We appreciate your time and your well wishes. I'd also like to thank all who spoke today and those who sent messages of congratulations to Douglas. If you haven't sent them yet, you want to, we will make sure that he gets your well wishes. If you're not able to get to Riverwood for whatever reason and you would like to see more images, you can go to YouTube and search for Dave Taylor Wildlife, and you just click on the links. Click on the right links or else you're going to see rhinoceroses and not Riverwood, but there's lots of videos for Riverwood. On a personal note, I had the pleasure of working with Douglas for 15 years. I can tell you it was never dull. There were always ideas on the horizon, and his dedication to the organization and to Riverwood were always there. Douglas, you will be missed. However, your legacy is all over Riverwood, in the gardens, on the trails, and through the programs. Congratulations on your retirement, and thank you for all your hard work. We hope to see everyone, including Douglas and Gail, at Riverwood when it's safe to do so, to witness the next phase of this amazing organization in place. Please stay safe and enjoy this farewell PowerPoint, which will conclude the celebration. Thanks again.
And we're back.
Just a few words. There is a cutting, a newspaper cutting, which is on my refrigerator door. It's old and brown and tattered because it's from 1995. And what it says is, driven by a dream. in 1995, I had a vision to establish and work for a botanical park and nature center. And over the next few years, Gail and I actually developed a board of directors. We put together some bylaws, policies, and we actually applied for charitable status with CRA, and we were given charitable status by CRA because of the mandate that we put together for the pursuit of the advancement of environment and the advancement of education. Over the next few years, I was actively looking for a property or a partner to do this with. And we came pretty close. There were a couple of times when we got very close, but for one reason or another, it didn't work. And we had this vision of a place where water would be flowing through it, where there was a variety of ecosystems, where there were programs and volunteers and gardens, and it was really a hub for the community, connecting people to nature. And we actually called it, well, we called it Douglas Botanical Park and Nature Center, only because we needed to put a name to it. But this Botanical Park and Nature Center was, again, it was registered with CRA. And it's just so interesting that in 2004, I found Riverwood. Well, maybe Riverwood found me, I don't know. And at that time, I knew that this was the place where that vision would reach fruition, where that dream would be met. And it's been quite a journey over the last 17 years, a journey filled with so many staff and volunteers and directors, sponsors, collaborations, the city, partnerships. It was just remarkable. It's just remarkable what we've been able to do together. The programs are unparalleled. We have a very, very bright future. And I'm absolutely convinced that that impact, the value that we provide for the community, which goes well beyond Mississauga, will be there for generations. You know, thank you to Mayor McCallion for having that vision, keeping it out of the hands of developers, and working with CBC and the city. It's just been a terrific journey. I'm honored, I'm privileged, and today was just, it was just terrific. So thank you.
Driven by a dream.
It was driven by a dream. And fortunately, the mandate that we put together in 1995 aligned so perfectly with the Mississauga Garden Council and then the Riverwood Conservancy. So there was always something behind driving us. And to actually see your vision fulfilled, your dream manifest, it's just such a privilege. And to have that kind of legacy, which I'm sure will continue for generations to come, making that difference, being inclusive, being accessible, the enabling garden, gardens, programs, health and wellness, climate change. It's just all there. And it's just so, again, it's just a privilege to have been part of that journey. So, wow.
Does anyone else have anything they want to add?
I just want to say that dreams do come true.
Yes. They really do. They really do. Yeah, so I look forward to more dreams by other people, by the next leader, the next leadership team. The Conservancy is definitely set for success. And I just wish you all the very, very best. And with the Douglas Markoff Horticultural Fund, I mean, how could you go wrong?
Thank you so much too, from my heart too, for your respect for this amazing man. Thank you.
It was a privilege.
You know, there's one thing that we didn't say, we sort of said, and that is achievements like this can only be made when you have a supportive partner, your spouse, best friend, whatever you want to call it. Because there are times, I mean, Dave alluded to it, because he's right. There's no way that I could have achieved, or many of the staff and directors could achieve what we have achieved, and the volunteers, without supportive partners and spouses. And it could be friends, it could be family, it could be neighbors. It's just too big a place to do it on your own. So a vote of thanks to everyone's significant other for supporting them during this, during at least my 17 years of journey.
What a team.
Douglas, you've left a mark on Riverwood, a mark that will carry on for years to come. I just so delighted. When we bought the property, we didn't know what would happen to it, but you have made it happen. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome, Mayor McCallion.
Thank you again, everyone, for coming. Gail and Douglas, you can wipe your tears and enjoy some sunshine. And and thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Thank you for Robin.
And everyone have a lovely evening.
All right.
You too.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Good
Take
to
care.
see you.